Alright, and here's kind of a neat little video review that I hadn't really intended on doing at any point until recently. I saw these in Walmart the other night, and I went back the next morning and picked up this set because I didn't realize, I knew they were coming, I didn't realize they were this close to being out. And I do play Overwatch. I don't play it often, but mostly because I usually play Destiny. But I do like Overwatch, and here is the Overwatch Ultimates, the new Hasbro line of figures. It's a 2-pack that comes with Mercy and PHARAH, and that is part of the reason that I got this set, because I think these may be my 2 favorite character designs in the game. PHARAH, certainly. I love the Egyptian look to her armor. I do think she could be a little bigger. You can see she's roughly the same height as Mercy here, maybe even slightly shorter. And like, while I think unarmored PHARAH that might fit, I feel like the armor should add a little bit more bulk than it actually does. But it is a, I don't know if I'd call it exactly 1/6 scale, because they don't mesh quite as well with some other 1/6 or 6-inch scale figures that I have, but they're in roughly that same height. You'll see what I'm talking about. These are their base figures. They come with a lot more accessories again than I thought they were going to. The 2-pack was $39.73 at Walmart, so just under $20 a figure, which is about the standard Marvel Legends price. And what you get with them is actually pretty worth it. Like I said, here's the base figures. Mercy comes with her wings, and you do want to make sure, like, the ball joint on the wing, you can see it's flat and it is kind of offset at an angle. So you want to make sure you're putting them on the right side. You want to have that, when the wing facing out, you want the ball joint moving in toward the back, and then they just plug in on her back here. Because otherwise, that lets the wing come out, and it's pretty posable on that ball joint, but it lets it face out to the side. If you put it the other way, it could either go straight back or go across the back, which would be weird. So just plug those on. And again, you can pose them around on that ball joint however you want. But like that, she comes with, she comes with her staff. Just one solid piece. It may be put together from a couple different pieces, but does this come off? Well, this is a separate piece, but it's supposed to be one solid staff. And then it does come with a blast effect, or a healing effect for the staff. So extends a little bit, which she can hold in her hand. Slide it through here. It helps if she holds it in both hands. Why don't we just go ahead and do that. Oh, come on, hold your staff, Mercy. I did it earlier today when I was taking pictures. It sounded so wrong. But you can get her to hold it here. Come on. You can do it. Oh, there's a deep cut there. There we go. So her holding her staff will bring her wing back out here. And we'll go over opposability in a minute. PHARAH has the base armor. She's got the big shoulder pads. They come attached. It looks like they're on a ball joint here, so you might be able to pop them off. I don't want to risk it. But they're on a little ball joint here on the back of the arm, so you can get them in a couple different positions, although they really don't look great outside of the standard position here. But she comes with her big cannon, of course. Got to have that. And her wing packs. And again, these are less, when they're folded up, less obviously which side they go on, but they do open up and split. So you kind of want to plug them in on the side where this piece is on the outer edge, just because I think it looks better split. So we'll pop those onto her armor right here. They just plug right into her back. And again, they're on a ball joint, so you can pose them out. You can pose them down. With that separating mechanic, you can split them up and have them facing more like wings, however you want. And now the bonus. Mercy also comes with her little pistol. Bonus stuff, you get extra hands and fists. Mercy has an open palm hand for her left hand and a closed fist for her right. And you swap them out. I'll do it on Farah just to show it off because she has. I haven't put anything in her hands yet. She comes with the open hands attached, and then she comes with 2 closed fists. And they work. You can kind of see how they work, just like Marvel Legends. I'm always a little scared when you see these tiny, tiny pegs. I haven't had any issues swapping these out, but you just kind of pull the standard fist. Like I said, the first couple times you do that, it's scary as crap. But you just pop that off, and then take the new fist and pop it in like that. Mercy also comes with some effect parts for her thrusters. And you can see there's an angle to this piece. It's maybe hard to tell, but this piece is angled. Like they only fit in certain ways. You can't just shove any of these in any particular thruster. So you got to make sure that the angle lines up here. So there we go. This one will go in here. Sometimes it takes some effort to wiggle them in there. They're kind of jelly-like. Which way does this angle go? Nope, that one's not for there. There is that one. There we go, there's the right angle. And then plug them in. Plug that one in. And then these 2 over here go in like this. Right, that's right. Because there's also like a little squared rectangular ridge inside here, so getting them lined up just right probably helps if I look at it from the proper angle too. Oh wait, no, that angle's on the other side. I did that wrong. There we go. This one goes on here, and this one goes up here. Again, you got to. It's not just the angle of the thing, but also where that notch is on the piece. So we'll put this one in. And then you can have her with the flying blast effects, whether like extended out, which doesn't make sense for flying, but you can have them however you wish, so she can hover around. Although it does make her very back heavy. Giving her cannon does kind of help. You can kind of slide it in like this because she does have a gap between her index finger and the rest of her hand to fit into the trigger guard. Like that. There we go. And that helps balance her out a little bit. You can get her to stand like this. She is very back heavy. But, like I said, these are both flying characters. And Hasbro, again, in a move they didn't really need to do, thought about that. And they give you a flight stand, like with a little Overwatch designed PHARAH base. Now, you only get one in the 2-pack, which is a little disappointing, but at the same time, they didn't have to include it at all, or they could have not included it at all, I guess. So it's nice to have a flight stand. I do think PHARAH benefits the most from it because Mercy's pretty good at standing on her own in a lot of various poses, even with her staff. With these jump jets, especially with the thruster effects attached, PHARAH gets a little back heavy. Now, it's got a hinge down here, and it can also rotate where it plugs into the base itself. And then you've got a hinge here, a kind of click, and you can actually, it's not super clicky, but it does have detents in it, like it will sit solidly. To open it up, there's one side with a hinge, and that's the only one you can open. Like this one looks like it has a plastic hinge in it, but this side does not move. You only open up one half of the claw, so don't break it trying to pull this apart. And you can wrap that around her waist, and then close it up, and then, you know, get it to an angle you like. But you can have PHARAH flying around. And like I said, you can use it on either one of them. I do think it works better on PHARAH just because of her back heaviness, and like with the jump thrusters, I think the jump thrusters make her backpack look more dynamic. I think she just looks cooler, all accessoried up. And if you do that, you really kind of want to use the flight stand on her. And again, you can put her in a more dynamic pose. This is just for the purposes of the video, but you can get her legs up and make her look like she's, oh, mercy. Have mercy. Oh, I'm Uncle Jesse all of a sudden. Have her in more of a dynamic flying pose. So yeah, right off the bat, like 2 of my favorite character designs. They're really well done, and they look great as figures. So let's get into a little bit of the specifics of them. Almost said specifically, and that's kind of dumb, or at least redundant. But the detailing on these figures is great. There's all sorts of little paint apps. I'm going to see if I can get up under Farah's mask, because she even has, like, and not even like oddly painted. Yeah, it's kind of a little hard to get under there from where we're shooting from. But like, her eyes are painted under that mask, and they're not like cross-eyed or anything. Like a much better job than I've seen of some figures on the shelf these days. But like the metallic blue of her armor, the gold detailing picked out, this little missile here on her other arm, all around. Like I wish there was maybe a little bit more paint detail on the thrusters themselves. Though they're, it helps if I focus, doesn't it? So yeah, some really nice detailing all around on PHARAH, as well as, you stay back there, on Mercy. She's got some nice color fade here on her waist, the orange on her arms. Again, the wings could use a little detailing, maybe a little bit more something to bring out the detailing here on the shoulders, because the sculpts are fantastic, the prints are nice, the faces are very nicely done. Again, let's get a close up here on Mercy's face. Like, just really nice looking figures. And posability wise, they're nice too. Like again, the wing packs are both on ball joints. Let's go ahead and put her staff off to the side. But Mercy's got clicky, you know, they latch in a couple places, swivels there at the shoulder, bicep, or I guess bicep swivel, hinge elbows. The wrists swivel, as well as they have a hinge to move forward and back. Now on both of these characters, their wrist armor limits that a little bit, but you've got some motion this way as well as the swivel. Ab crunch, you can see there's an ab crunch here on Mercy. PHARAH has one too, it's right here in her armor. As well as like even her upper torso. So there's an ab crunch and then like a mid-rib twist on Mercy. Her legs are a little limited because of the plastic skirt piece, but I mean, she's got swivels front and back, side to side at the hip, a thigh swivel, dual hinge knees there at the knee pad, and I like how the knee pad kind of hides that hinge a little bit. And they do have like swivel rockers. I'm trying to think of other toys I have that have this, but like a swivel forward and back at the heel, as well as like the shoe there's a peg that goes in here so that the foot can rotate. So, and then a ball joint at the neck. So some really nice posability on these guys. Let you put them in a solid pose. PHARAH has, again, like you said, the thrusters, the hinge and the thrusters, as well as the ball joint back here. The hinge, the ball joint there on the shoulder armor. The same swivels at the shoulder. Thigh or bicep swivels that are a little loose on mine. There may be something I can do to tighten those up. But then hinge elbows, the same wrists. She gets a little bit more motion there on that hinge. She has the same under rib swivel, although not as pronounced as Mercy's. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so she's got some movement there, as well as the ab crunch right there, kind of cut into her armor. And I like the way that a lot of the way these cuts are designed is that they're not super visible. Like that, right where the black's coming up on her waist piece is where it meets the blue is where the cut is. So it's not super obvious. The same thigh swivel, dual hinge hips here, double jointed knees, and then the same front to back as well as tilt on the ankle. So very nicely designed figures, and she's got the ball joint at the neck. My only complaint about PHARAH over Mercy, like Mercy seems like she has a pretty decent range of vision. With the way this hood comes down, it would have been nice if on top of the ball joint here at the neck, if there was a cut, like a hinge back and forth at the lower part of PHARAH's neck, so you could bring the neck forward, which would allow her to look up a little bit more. I think when I was trying to pose her on the flight stand earlier, like I would love to get her in like a charging pose where I could bring the neck down and then tilt her head up a little bit so she was facing more forward in it. And that's really the one minor to medium complaint I have about PHARAH. Like she is a little smaller, I think, than she should be, especially when compared to Mercy. If it were her height unarmored, it would be one thing, but I feel like the armor should add a little bit more height and bulk to her than she has, even in comparison to figures within the same line. Like I said, in comparison to Mercy, I think she should be a little bulkier. I'll go ahead and take these thrusters out so I can get her to stand here without the flight stand for some comparisons. Or a comparison at any rate. All right, we'll get her to stand up. We'll get Mercy to stand back up. Because here they both are with... Okay, no, you guys got to work with me here. I know the surface I got you standing on is warped. Here they are with, I'm just going to use Marvel Legends Gamer Spider-Man, which is kind of their standard size Marvel Legends Spider-Man mold. And Spider-Man next to Mercy, I think, is not significantly, it doesn't feel significantly off. Like, I feel like Mercy would probably be a little taller and maybe a little broader in comparison to Spider-Man, because this Spider-Man is kind of jacked. He's not normally this big and muscly. But at the same time, like, she doesn't look off compared to Spider-Man. Farrah, like, looks okay next to Mercy, especially when she's on the flight stand. When you have Farrah up on the flight stand and she's a little elevated, the height difference or the size difference isn't quite as noticeable. But when you've got both of them standing next to a standard, or what I consider a standard 6-inch Marvel Legend, Farrah definitely looks smaller than I feel she should. So, one drawback, it's something that I'm not going to get super hung up about, because one, there probably aren't going to be many situations where I have them on display with my other Marvel, with like Marvel Legends or some other character lines, as well as the fact that Farrah will most likely usually be on the flight stand, which will give her a little bit more stature. So, yeah, but they look good together. I do wish Farrah were a little bulkier overall. So, a good solid initial offering for Overwatch from Hasbro, and like I said, it was under $40 for this set of 2, and I'm not sure what the Figma prices are. I don't have any of the Figmas to compare them to, but I feel like I got my money's worth. You know, I'm very happy with this set. I wasn't intending on buying any Overwatch figures, and then I found these last night at Walmart, just sitting on the shelf, and I looked at them and I passed. And I only saw this 2-pack, and there's a 2-pack of Soldier 76 and Farrah's mom. Okay, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But, Anna? But, that's all I saw. There are single packs. The call-outs on the back of the box. Actually, it's probably right here. Anna, okay, I was right. Here's the back of the packaging, which has some neat stat art and stat work for the 2 characters, as well as the call-outs for the other Sombra, Lucio, Civilian Reaper, Blackwatch Reaper, Tracer, and then Reinhardt's going to be a single pack, but he's going to be a deluxe. He's going to be bulkier. And then Anna and Soldier 76. So yeah, if you're out looking at Walmart, take a dive, walk past the Transformers. I'm saying that because this is generally a Transformers review channel. I think that's where most of my audience lies. But take a gander down past it. I don't know where their actual section is going to be. They were stuck in front of a $19 price tag for some Jurassic Park figures. When I found them, they were not in an actual designated display or aisle setup for these guys. So, but in the action figure aisle, keep an eye out because they're starting to hit. But there is Mercy and Farrah from Marvel's Overwatch line.